Hello, all my dear student friends. Welcome to this session. Let us study something about the safety in automobiles. So, nowadays, as we see on the highways, so many vehicles are running with a large speed, and this increases the chance of accidents, and therefore, safety has become more crucial nowadays in case of the automobiles. Even if the driver is an expert person, but still the safety issues may arise. So in order to ensure the safety or increase the possibility of the safety, it is necessary to incorporate certain safety features, certain safety devices in the cars, advanced cars. Using the advanced technology, we can incorporate certain safety features in the cars. So, what are these safety features? First of all, airbags. We know that whenever there is a crash, then the airbags inflate and thus increase the safety. Then the automatic emergency braking, adaptive cruise control. So the speed of the vehicle is maintained in other adaptive cruise control. It is maintained constant, but there is a slight variation depending upon the traffic, depending upon the vehicles, their speed and their proximity in front of our vehicle. Then the electronic stability programmer. So these electronic stability programmers or the electronic stability devices work on the principle of tractive force. Then there are anti-collision systems, active passive integration systems. So certain features, safety features are active and some other safety features are passive. So for example, the adaptive cruise control, automatic emergency braking, these are the active safety features. But the safety features like the airbags and the seat belts, these are the passive type of safety features. So all these safety features can be integrated so that the safety becomes more uh, systematic. First of all, we'll talk about the airbags. So, airbag is a vehicle occupant restraint system using a bag designed to inflate extremely quickly. So, this is a bag which inflates very quickly, then quickly deflate during a collision. So, these airbags with inflate specially during the collision so as to safeguard the passengers and the driver in the vehicles. This airbag consists of an airbag cushion and a flexible fabric bag. There is a cushion called as the airbag cushion, and there is a flexible fabric bag, an inflation module, and an impact sensor. So we have an impact sensor, and there is a module which will inflate the airbag. The purpose of the airbag is to provide a vehicle occupant with a soft cushioning and restraint during a crash event. So, whenever there is a crash, soft cushioning is provided to the vehicle occupant, and at the same time some restraint is also provided to the vehicle occupant so that the safety level of the vehicle occupant is increased. So this airbag can reduce injuries between the failing occupant and the interior of the vehicle. So the occupant may dash against the interiors of the vehicle. So, but due to the airbag which comes in between the interior of the vehicle, interior parts of the vehicle and the occupant, so the injuries are reduced. The injuries to the occupants are reduced. The airbag provides an energy absorbing surface. The energy or the impact is absorbed by the airbags. So this surface is between the vehicle's occupants and the steering wheel, instrument panel, body pillar, headliner and windshield. So various interior parts of the automobiles, they may dash against the occupant. The steering wheel can also dash against the driver. So these airbags will absorb the energy and they will minimize the impact between the occupant and the interior of the vehicle, interior parts of the vehicle. Modern vehicles may contain up to 10 airbag modules in various configurations, including driver, passenger, side curtain, seat mounted, door mounted, PNC pillar mounted, side impact, knee bolster, inflatable seat belt. So these are the various positions of the airbags in a vehicle and pedestrian airbag modules. So airbags are present at so many locations wherever there are chances of injury causing to the occupant. At all these places, almost all these places, the airbags can be made available, depends upon the model, depends upon the car, the cost of the car. So first of all, let us see with the help of this picture. This is the driver airbag. So this airbag, you can see it is between the driver and the steering wheel. So with the help of this airbag, the injury caused by the steering wheel to the face of the driver or the chest of the driver can be minimized. We have a airbag, side airbag, which is inflated permanently for display purposes. So this is a side airbag which can minimize the injury to the occupant from the side parts of the vehicle. Then this is a deployed curtain airbag and side airbag. So deployed means ready to use. So this airbag, it is as acting like a side curtain. So it is deployed certain curtain airbag and this is a side airbag. So at the side, left side as well as right side also we are having the airbags so as to prevent the injury to the hands or the lateral surface of the occupant. Then this is a deployed passenger knee airbag. So this airbag can minimize the injury caused to the knee of the occupant. So it is a deployed passenger knee airbag in a Toyota Tundra after a frontal collision test. So after a collision test, this airbag is seen and you can see the driver side knee airbag is also deployed and blue and yellow markings indicate the dummy's knees. So the dummy is sitting inside the car and after the crash, the knees of the dummy will collide against this particular airbags and we get the marks. So the yellow mark and the blue mark indicate the knees of the dummy who is supposed to sit inside the car, right? So these are nothing but the passenger knee airbags. So the seat belt airbag is also present. This is, as you can see, this is the seat belt, and this is nothing but the seat belt airbag. So several types of airbags we are having at several locations. For a motorcycle also you can have a airbag like this. So during a crash, the vehicle's crash sensors provide crucial information to the airbag electronic controller unit, ECU. Sometimes it is called as the airbag control unit, ACU. So as we know that in the vehicles we are having nowadays the electronic control unit. So this electronic control unit is coordinating all the various functions, all the various activities which are going on in the vehicles. It is controlling all the complete vehicles. So in the same way, we can also have the airbag control unit or the airbag electronic control unit. So during a crash, the vehicle's crash sensors provide crucial information to the airbag electronic controller unit, including collision type, angle, and severity of the impact. So all this information is obtained by this particular airbag electronic controller unit regarding the type of collision, the angle of collision, and the severity of the impact. And using this information, this airbag electronic control unit crash algorithm, airbag ECU's crash algorithm determines if the crash events meets the criteria for deployment and triggers various firing circuits to deploy one or more airbag modules within the vehicle. So this ECU unit will first of all find out whether the crash is severe up to the extent for the deployment of the airbags and to trigger the deployment of the airbags. So deployment is nothing but being ready for action, right? So these airbags are ready for action, and when they are triggered, these airbags will immediately, very fast, they will inflate, right? But whether the airbag should be inflated or not, whether the crash is up to that severity level or not, what is the type of collision, what is the angle, what is the severity of the impact, all this information is first of all received by the ECU, and accordingly immediately the action will be taken, and depending upon the severity the airbags may be open or may not be open, and depending upon which part needs the airbag, it is decided that which airbag modules should be open. One or more airbag modules can be open depending upon the position or the angle where the crash is taking place. So working as a supplement restraint system to the vehicle's seat belt system. So it is said that the airbags will not open unless you put on the seat belts. If the seat belts are not put on, if you are not using the seat belts, then the airbags may not open. So there is a coordination between the seat belts and the airbags. The airbag module deployments are triggered through a pyrotechnic process. So pyrotechnic process is that process that is designed to be used once. So these airbags can be used only once, cannot be used always, continuously. So these newer side impact airbag modules consist of compressed air cylinders that are triggered in the event of a side-on vehicle impact. So since the pneumatic systems which are using the compressed air cylinders, they act very fast. The pneumatic cylinders, their action is very fast. And here for opening of the airbags, we need the fast action. And therefore, these compressed air cylinders are used and air is filled inside the airbags. Also air is filled and it is filled very quickly all of a sudden, so that before the occupant will collide over the interiors of the vehicle, the airbags will inflate and will provide and will avoid the injury or minimize the injury to the occupant inside the vehicle. Now next we are going to study the automatic emergency braking. So as we have seen that safety has to be increased in the vehicles because the number of accidents are increasing, the speeds are increased and the traffic is becoming more and more dense day by day, and therefore we need the automatic emergency braking system also in the vehicles. So the automatic emergency braking is generally designed to activate at highway speeds as long as the forward collision warning sensors are able to detect the vehicle. This safe feature can sense slow or stopped traffic ahead and urgently apply the brakes if the driver fails to respond. So this feature of the automatic emergency braking can sense the traffic which is ahead, whether the traffic is slow or the traffic which ahead of our vehicle is stopped. That can be sensed, and if required urgently, brakes can be applied by this system if the driver fails to respond. So if the driver will not respond within the stipulated time, then this automatic emergency braking system will come into action. But remember that this automatic emergency braking system is not completely reliable. The driver should not completely totally rely on that. He must first of all ensure the safety himself. First of all, he should drive safely, and that is the additional safety. The automatic emergency braking may provide additional safety if the driver fails to respond to the situation which may lead to crash. Now what this automatic emergency braking system is doing? It is using sensors to track cars ahead. So with the help of the sensors, the cars which are ahead of the vehicle, they are tracked and automatically slam on the brakes in an impending crash. So what it does not do? The automatic emergency braking can't always prevent a rear end collision but may reduce the severity. The severity of the collision may be reduced, but always it may not be possible for this automatic emergency system to prevent a rear end collision. So we can't say that we are having the feature of automatic emergency braking, so we can drive in any way and this accident will not be caused. We can't say like this surely. We can't be sure about that. So how it works? How this automatic braking system works? First of all, scanning of the road will be done. So you can see this is the vehicle ahead of the given vehicle to which this particular safety devices are attached, right? So the road in between these two vehicles is scanned. Scan the road for hazards. If there is hazards or any obstacles between the two vehicles, or the vehicle in front can be considered as a hazard or a obstacle, and for that the road has to be scanned and maintain a safe following distance. The following distance should be safe. That means the distance between the two vehicles should be safe, should be more than the minimum required distance at that particular speed. If the speed is more, then the distance required is also more. If the speed is less, then the safe distance between the two vehicles may be reduced, right? Now next point is be alert. So the driver has to be alert, but in addition to that, this system, automatic braking system, will make the driver alert, and the system itself is alert so as to take action and prevent the collision of two vehicles. So it will beep first of all, then it will brake. So if the driver doesn't respond, if you have not responded in a collision imminent situation, if the situation is collision imminent or prone to collision, the car will automatically brake hard. Automatically the car will brake hard. Immediately brakes will be applied automatically and the vehicle will stop so as the crash will be prevented. Warning tones and other visual alerts may also be activated during or after or even before the emergency event. So at the time of the emergency event, the tones with several warning tones, visual alerts, or the different sounds may be activated. Some lights and some sounds uh, will be activated at the time of the emergency event. Take action. Brake or steer to avoid the hazard ahead. So this automatic braking system will brake or steer to avoid the hazard ahead, or if the driver is not braking or steering, it is not, if it is not changing the direction to avoid the hazard ahead, then the vehicle will slow down rapidly or stop on its own. Vehicle may stop on its own. To avoid a crash. So what this automatic braking system does? This feature may typically be paired with a feature called forward collision warning. So two features may be paired, may be combined, and that is one of them is the uh, automatic braking system, and other one is the forward collision warning. So this is the brakes are being applied and the road is being scanned. So that feature scans the road ahead while you drive. The road is scanned. The road ahead of the vehicle is scanned, warning you if you are about to crash into a car. So you will be warned if you are about to crash a car which is ahead of you, then you will be definitely warned first of all. If you don't react in time, automatic emergency braking quickly slows down your car or even can bring your car to a stop. So this braking system, automatic emergency braking system, will reduce the speed of your car or even it will stop your car. What is the technology behind this? Beep, vibrate, brake. Sensors located in the front of your car are able to detect how close you are to the car ahead. So sensors are located especially in the front side of your car and they are able to detect how close you are to the car ahead. The distance between your car and the car which is ahead of yours, that distance is detected, it is sensed by the sensors, various types of sensors, proximity sensors or radar sensors. These typically are camera or radar based sensors. Sensors may be camera based or radar based sensors. Warnings can be sounds or visual or vibrations or a mix of warnings. Several warnings may be given at a time. Several they may be a sound or vibrations or some lights, some visuals. If your car begins to brake, this will also act as an alert. If the speed of your car is reduced automatically without the efforts of the driver, without applying the brakes, then it means that your car is warning you about the emergency event which may take place if you don't take the required action within the required stipulated time. Now, what you have to do, what you need to do, even though you are having the emergency braking system in your car, deep brake vibrate. So, read your car manual or ask your dealer how your specific system works. You have to read the manual properly, your car manual, and you have to talk to the dealer. Ask the dealer how your specific system works, how this system, safety related systems, several safety related systems are there, how all these systems are working, what exactly you have to do. That discussion you must do with your dealer, or you can find the information from the car manual. These systems are not standard and vary from model to model. If the model changes, then the systems may change. The way of operating the system, the way of understanding the systems, so many things may change. So you must be used to all these particular systems which are related with the safety. Exactly what is happening, exactly how to control. What is the location of the various controls? What is the type of controls? Whether there are levers or there are buttons, where they are located. All this information should be obtained beforehand. Automatic emergency braking is not foolproof. It is not a foolproof system. You can't rely. First of all, you have to drive properly. Always keep a safe following distance from the traffic ahead. So while driving, you have to take care. You have to try to drive safely. Keep a safe following distance from the traffic ahead. Stay focused on the road. Stay focused on the road. You have to keep focus on the road only. Don't allow your attention to divert here and there away from the road. Okay. So tips for using this emergency braking system. Keep a 3-second following distance. The following distance should not be in meters, it should be in seconds. So it depends upon the speed, right? So distance should be such that minimum 3 seconds should be required to cover the distance between the two vehicles. If the vehicle in front of you stops suddenly, so that is called as a 3-second following distance. Now the sensors are located in the front side of the cars. Automatic emergency braking relies on sensors that may be blocked by dirt, ice or snow. So these sensors, due to some dirt or ice or snow or some unwanted foreign particles, may be blocked. If the sensors are blocked, then they will not work properly. They may not provide the feedback to this system, emergency braking system, and the emergency braking system due to that may not operate, may not come into function, right? So you cannot rely totally on this particular automatic emergency braking system. And if the sensors are blocked by dirt, ice or snow, then the system will tell you that it won't work. System will tell you, but always it may not tell you, or you may not notice that the system is not working. So be sure to clear any buildup of your features sensors or windshield before trips. So before going to any trip, before going to some long drive or some uh, long trip, you have to be sure to clear or to clean your sensors. Whatever unwanted foreign material is gathered on the sensors, that should be cleaned, that should be removed, and the windshield should also be clean because the sensors, some sensors may be located at the top of the windshield like this. Some sensors may be located near the headlights, right? So all these sensors should be properly cleaned. Not sure where your automatic emergency braking sensors are located. The location of the sensors may vary from model to model. So you are not sure, you can't say surely that about the location of the various sensors. Now tips for using the automatic emergency braking system. The automatic emergency braking relies on sensors that may be blocked by dirt, ice or snow. If so, the system will tell you that it won't work. So be sure to clean your any buildup of your features, sensors or windshield before trips. Not sure whether where your automatic emergency braking sensors are located, this you have studied. You can always check your owner's manual or with your dealership. So the locations of the sensors will be given in the owner's manual, or your dealer can also explain you about that. Some automatic emergency braking features are vulnerable to glare from sunrise and sunset. So due to sunrise and due to the rising sun, the rays from the rising sun or the setting sun also, these sensors may be affected and they may give wrong feedback. You shouldn't rely on this feature exclusively during those times or at any other time. Don't rely on these sensors, especially in the morning and in the evening. So when the sun is rising or the when sun is going to set, at that time the sensors, especially the light related sensors or the camera sensors may provide you incorrect information and they may act in an incorrect way. So all these things must be considered and accordingly you have to drive your vehicle in a safe way. So thank you my dear friends.